Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Dear colleagues, this is male young patient of 20-year age, complaint of chest pain and blood after the coughing. So blood stains sputum is coming and patient complaint of chest pain. So today I am going to scan the chest and will try to tell how we do the lung ultrasound. So basically the lung is divided, chest is divided into the anterior chest, lateral chest and posterior chest. Here you can see that I have marked the areas. This is the right upper anterior chest, which we mark at 1. This is the lower chest. I am marking it by 2. So we will place the probe at 1, 2, this we call is 3 and this is 4. These are the 4 quadrant which should be in our scan plane. So first should be in the upper chest and then second should be in the lower chest above the diaphragm, above the subcostal margin, and other third and fourth point should be on the left side. And when we go to the lateral chest, same way upper lateral chest and lower lateral chest above the diaphragm on the right side and on the left side. So this was the marking on the chest for the lung ultrasound. How to place the probe, I am telling you. Probe should be placed in this direction. You can see here I have placed the probe in the longitudinal direction. The probe is curvilinear. This is best for the deep penetration. If we want to see the viscera or we want to see the subcutaneous tissues, we can use the linear probe. So for deeper structure, we should use the curvilinear. So in my opinion, this is the best probe. This is the best probe for the lung ultrasound. However, depending upon the conditions, we can take the help of the linear probe. I am doing the X-ray. I am scanning the right upper lung. Here we can appreciate that this and this one. This is the subcutaneous tissue of the chest, and then we are seeing below this subcutaneous tissue the white lines. One is this white line which is moving, and other are this white line, which are having posterior shadowing. So these white lines which are having posterior shadowing are the ribs, and in between the ribs, just deeper to it, it is the white line. This one you can appreciate. This white line is moving. This is the pleura, visceral and parietal pleura, which are moving with respiration. This moving of the pleural line is called pleural sliding. So when the pleural sliding is present, it means that both pleura are in contact, viscera and parietal. And here we can see that these echogenic lines which are well defined. One is here, that is arising from the pleural line, deeper and deeper, far away in the whole depth of the screen. So this is called the B line. The criteria for the B line is these should be well defined. These should arise from the pleura and go all the way up to the whole scan of the lung field. So this is the criteria. If this doesn't meet the criteria, we don't call as B lines. So the criteria for the B line is this. And if you closely observe, beside this B line, this is the white line. This is the white line, which are at regular interval from the pleural line. These are called A line. Actually, the lung ultrasound is based on the artifact generated by the pleural line or due to the lung parenchymal process, disease process or healthy process. So if these B lines are less than 3 in number, this is normal. And A lines which are in regular interval represent that reflection of this pleural line. So here you can see that these A line becomes decreased or absent or vanished. This is the reason that my probe is not perpendicular to the pleural line. When I make the probe perpendicular to the pleural line, then these lines become visible. So the probe direction must be perpendicular to the pleural line if we want to get the findings and want to see the A and B lines. So I have already told you that the probe should be placed between the two ribs. Ribs recognized by the posterior shadowing, ribs, and then in between this pleural line and this two ribs is called bat sign. Chamgadar nahi hoti. This is the body of bat and these are the wings. And these are the A line. So here the lung parenchyma is normal. So I then move from the upper chest to the lower chest. You can see that B lines are 1 or 2. And when I move in the lower chest, you can appreciate that the B lines, they are confluent. These are the B line going all the way down to the depth of the screen. And A lines are also present, but they have been obscured by the B lines. However, this lung sliding is present. We can also use the M mode to see the sliding of the lung. Here we can see that from this end to this end, this is the subcutaneous tissue, and below this end is the lung. So because the subcutaneous tissues are static, they don't move, so on M mode they will appear smooth. And when the sliding is present, the pleural line slides, which is called sliding of the lung sliding, then the smoothness, as here is present, smoothness is disturbed. This is rough. You can appreciate that this is coarse and rough appearance. So this is called sea shore sign. सहले समंदर जैसे कहते हैं, समंदर की स्मूथनेस और जो सहल पे रेत होती है उसकी रफनेस. So this is called sea shore sign, सहले समंदर. So if this type of picture is present, then we can definitely say that no pneumothorax is present. So 2 points are here to exclude the pneumothorax. One, this pleural line is moving, and second, I have already shown shown you that the seashore sign is also present when we scan the patient with MO. So again we come to the other thing. The upper chest is having less B lines and lower chest is having more B line. These B lines, if they are more in number, whether they are separate, discrete, or whether they are confluent, this represents the interstitial syndrome. The differential of the interstitial syndrome is there may be pulmonary edema to the patient, there may be lung fibrosis, and there may be bronchopneumonia, or there may be chronic lung disease, there may be ARDS or adult respiratory syndrome. So this is the 5 to 6 differential of the B lines. So it means when I put the probe in the upper chest, the B lines are diminished or low, decrease in number. When I move to the lower chest, these are increased and confluent. So the pathology is in the lower zone of the chest. And if I put the probe in the left upper chest, we can see that lung sliding is present, proline is moving, and the regular A lines are present, and no B line. Few B lines, more less than 3 are present. And when I move to the lower chest, on the left side, we can see that the B lines are having the same picture in the left lower chest as it was in the right lower chest. So it means here also the interstitium is involved and the fluid is present in the interstitium, leading to interlobular septal thickening. If these are present, B lines are in confluent configuration and these represent the fluid in the interstitium. As we see in the HRCT chest, the interlobular septal thickening. These B lines also represent the interlobular septal thickening. So here we can say that there is bilateral lower lobe interlobular septal thickening or lower lobe interstitial syndrome is present. So this patient should be definitely go for the HRCT chest for further evaluation. And now I am going to see the lateral aspect. Here I am in the lower chest, same picture is present on the right lateral side, and if I go to the left lower chest, we can appreciate that effusion is present on the left side And here we can appreciate the whitish tissue, whitish line, which represent the, you can say, the foci and tissue. Foci are bright, and this comes. So this is the patch of consolidation, and also this is the spleen, and this is the pleural effusion. So this patient is having also pleural effusion. So the findings in this patient are bilateral lower lobe B lines or interlobular septal thickening or bilateral interstitial syndrome. So if we compare this findings to the X-ray chest, you can see क्या होता है? सही नहीं है. Here we can see that these linear opacities are present. Here you can see these are the linear opacities in the lower zone, and upper zone is spare. And if we see the left chest, linear opacities, which are the interlobular septal thickening is present, and if we closely observe, the left CP angle is blunted, but there is a doubtful blunting, which we can say that the chest X-ray is not much more sensitive than ultrasound in the localization of the fluid. On ultrasound, the moderate pleural effusion is present, and here only blunting of the left CP angle is present. So you can see that the interlobular septal thickening in the lower zone on the right side, and on the left side. Upper chest is normal, as so on X-ray. This is also telling the same findings as the ultrasound chest is telling. So this was all about the lung X-ray, lung ultrasound. Here you can see that the moderate to severe fluid is present. This is the collapse of the lung, collapsed lung. But in X-ray, there was doubtful blunting of the left CP angle. So in my opinion, this patient is having bilateral lower lobe lung fibrosis, which can be appreciated on the lung ultrasound as well as in the X-ray chest. Left-sided perfusion with collapse consolidation is also present. So we will investigate this patient to advise also HRCT chest. Okay, what are the findings in the chest? So these were the findings. If other cases will come like pneumothorax, consolidation, mass, cyst, etc., I will also share with you people. So my main aim was that lung ultrasound is also very, very helpful as it is not time consuming, it has no radiation, it is easily available at the bedside where the respiratory failure patient are present, and we can also easily diagnose them about the pulmonary edema, ARDS, lung fibrosis at the bedside. Thank you very much.